Hey, hi, hello. I hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to be doing another Shop My Stash update, which I'm really excited for. I have quite a few new to me items that are going to be in this basket, as well as some items that I've really just been itching to rotate in. So I'm really pumped. We also are going to have some eyeshadow palettes in this basket. And yeah, I'm really just ready to dig into it. If you're coming from IG, then I have been already rotating some of these items in. I definitely think my basket is really full this time around. So I think we're gonna get a full 2 weeks easily out of this basket. And yeah, if you're new here, hi, hello, my name is Megan. Be sure to subscribe before you leave. If you like me, if you like makeup, if you like this video, be sure to like this video, hit that big thumbs up button. And yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Okay, so welcome back. This is my basket. It's looking rather messy right now, but that's okay. What we're going to do, what we typically do is go through the basket. I give you like a rundown on my thoughts on the products, and then we shop my new items. First, I'm going to go ahead and set over the items that are going to be like staying in the basket because they're staples. You can check out my previous Shop My Stash videos. I have a whole playlist on the items that typically stay just because they are ones that I frequently reach for, etc. So those types of things will be getting set over to the side first. And I think that is all of the items. So what's left are the things that we were testing out / trying to get a feel on. So I wanted to go ahead and go through those with all of you. I'm going to start with the sample card because I'm so ready to throw this away. I really like the illuminating primer, and it's actually on my radar to pick up next time I need a primer replacement. I tried the pore diffusing primer. I also thought that was nice. I think that I still like my Tarte one better, but I think depending on what kind of texture you like, this is a more liquidy texture, whereas the Tarte one is a thicker texture. Could be the difference for you. It just comes down to preference, I felt like. The same with the eye primer. I felt like it did a really nice job. I didn't experience any kind of creasing. It was really long wearing, easy to blend my makeup over. What I didn't like is it was more liquidy than my Urban Decay one. So I had to go in with a brush to blend it out, which isn't a huge deal, but I just personally don't like that because then I go through a lot of brushes spreading my eye primer because they get all wet and gross. So that's why I wouldn't pick this up. I like the Urban Decay one because I can tap it on with my finger and blend it out, and I just prefer to do that. I think this is a good one. It's just not my preference. So yeah. Next, it's going to be staying is Mirrored Moonlight. This is my Spectral Shine from Fido, and it's the lightest shade that I have, and I've still been wearing it, just focusing it on the high points on my cheeks because it is a lighter shade. It's going to stay. Next is my LIS Think Bright Glow and Hydrate Serum. I actually plan to let this go. I'm kind of right now just in a place where I'm not even really using primers. I'm just doing my skincare, which I used to do before as well, and then I would use a primer, and this just like doesn't go into that step routine the way that like I would want it, which I know just sounds like picky, but I don't feel myself the past like 4 weeks wanting to reach for this due to that. So instead of just like forcing myself to use it or hanging on to it, I have a friend that really loves this, so I plan to send it to her, and I'm gonna rotate this out. Next is my Fenty Beauty Hydrating Pro Filter Foundation. This is the shade 150. I'm freaking obsessed with this. I bought quite a few replacements because I'm pretty sure they are discontinuing it. This is phenomenal. It gives me such a glowy and hydrated base. I am combination skin. I do get a smidge oily right around my nose, and if I powder, that's the only place that I would really need to powder. If you have oilier skin types, this might be a bit too dewy for your preference. I'm interested to see if I'll be able to wear this in the summer or not. We shall see, but love this, and it's going to stay in. Next, I was trying out the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand. Unpopular opinion, I was not wowed by this. I felt like super underwhelmed, actually. I just felt like it was pretty finicky. I thought I would like the applicator, but I don't, just because it gets really messy really easily. It blends out okay, but I just don't think that this wasn't like a home run for me. I would much rather use like some of my cream bronzers before I would reach for this. So I'm honestly trying to decide right now what I want to do with it, because I don't know if anyone would even want it just because of the applicator and I've had to use it. But like, see how it gets all dirty and messy there, and then I have to twist it to turn it on, and I get bronzer all over my fingers. Like, I don't know. It's just messy and finicky and expensive, and I just feel like it's pretty bleh. So I'm going to rotate this out. Next, we have the Jouer Blush and Bloom stick. This one was from their French Riviera collection, and I did use this twice, and I don't know why. Like, I expected these shades. I picked this one because the shades appeared to me that they were going to be a more orangey peach color, but when I put them on, they were pulling like a really red pink. And it's not that I think that it looks bad, it's just not my blush shade preference. Like, I don't enjoy that kind of a shade on me. So I know that I'm not going to reach for this. So yeah, it was definitely a miss for me. I'm going to rotate this out. The next item is this, the single from Natasha Denona. Really, really beautiful shade. It's a mini from the Zendo palette. And I said if I didn't use this by the time we got to this video, then I would declutter it. And I didn't use it, you guys. And it's not that it's not pretty, because I think that it is. I'm just a piece of crap when it comes to using singles. Dang, and that is so pretty too. I think I have a dupe for it though in the Laura Lee palette. So I think that I will rotate this out, and I'll probably end up letting it go. Next up, we have the Alamar blush, the bronzer trio. I use this quite a handful of times. I feel like you can see quite a bit of use in this shade. I was just using it to top and set a little bit where I needed. So didn't get a ton of use. I don't really use a lot of powders anymore unless I'm like setting a product, which I typically, you know, don't have to do. I do think that I am going to keep this in for an additional rotation though, just because I really do enjoy it. Next up, we have the Lunar Beauty Greek Goddess palette. I really wanted to rotate this in to get a better idea of how I feel about it and what I want to do about it. And I'm going to rotate it out. I think that the mattes in this are so stunning. They blend out so easily, and there's a lot of great mattes and matte shades or ones that I know that I would like use and could easily pan. But I just wasn't wowed by the shimmers, and I feel like for that reason, like, I'm not gonna reach for this. I haven't reached for this. I've had it for like probably close to a year or coming up on a year, and I've used it like 3 times. So there's just something about it that like doesn't draw me in. So instead of hanging on to it, I'm probably gonna let this one go as well. But yeah, gonna be rotating this one out. Okay, so first up, we're gonna be up here in the top. And the first thing I'm gonna actually rotate in is my Patrick Ta Major Dimensions palette. My friend Steph over on IG just picked up this palette, and she plans to do a whole week of looks with it. So I said that I would love to join her in that because I really love this palette. And I want to see if we can't make some really good progress on this shade and this shade. I also want to get some more use out of the mattes as well. And I really want to dabble in the creams. So I'm going to be using it for, you know, at least a week. So I wanted to go ahead and rotate this in over here as well. This palette is not up for the chopping block. It's like probably my favorite palette in my collection. So yeah, I just want to rotate it in for a little more love. The next palette I want to rotate in is the Natasha Denona Mini Retro. I'm rotating this in because I would at least like to do one more look, potentially 2 more looks with this palette. I recently opened it from my wrapped palette selection and I've done one look with it, and I used these 2 shades and I absolutely loved it. So I really want to dabble in these as well so that I can get that up for you guys over on IG. But yeah, so far I really enjoyed those 2 looks. Yeah, I just want to get this knocked out. Alrighty, now we are on the second level. Need to pull a few things. I think that I want to do, so I picked up this Fenty cream bronzer. I got the shade Butter Biscuit, and if I can get it open, I picked this up with a little bit of my extra Mercari money. Recently, I have used this one once and I liked it, but I really want to get a better feel for it. So I do want to go ahead and rotate this in so that I can get a full review up. The next product I want to rotate in, I feel like I can definitely do 2 cream bronzers in one rotation, is a Huda Beauty Tantour. I have the shade Fair, and I haven't used it or swatched it or anything yet. So I'm going to be dipping into this bad boy, and I'm really excited about that. So yeah, if I can get it closed, we're going to rotate this in. Okay, next up, I want to go ahead and pull, this is my Nabla Bronzer in the shade Privilege, and I don't really use powdered highlights anymore, but I want to pull this because I want to focus on it, using it on my brow bone as a highlight. I really like highlighting my brow bone when I have time. And honestly, this is like one of 2 powdered highlighters left in my collection. So I want to focus on this. This is probably going to stay in my basket for the foreseeable future, if I had to guess, just because, like I said, it's one of 2. So yeah, going to rotate this in. The next item I want to rotate in is an additional spectral shine. I want to rotate in the shade Divine Daylight just because I am starting to get a little bit of color. So I want to rotate this one in. She is looking well loved and well used. Low-key trying to pan 3 of my 4 this year. So figured we'd go ahead and whip this shade out and start giving her some attention. Next up, we're about to have a lot of blush in this rotation. I recently picked up the MAC Glow Play Blush in the shade So Natural, and I'm so obsessed with this. I literally used it like all last week, and I want to keep using it. So I officially want to rotate it in to be one that I reach for. I also want to rotate in my LYS blush. I have the shade Kindness. I used this the other week, and it was just a gorgeous shade on me. And yeah, I want to get a little bit more use out of this product. It's really nice for this time of year as well, glowing into the spring months. So I'm going to pull this one out and hopefully get some love. And lastly, I think I want to go ahead and rotate this in as well. I recently got this, my boyfriend picked it up for me while we were at the mall. It's the new Huda Beauty blush stick in the shade, what's this one? Peachy, Perky Peach. So pretty. I swatched them all in store, and this one was like right up my alley. So I want to pull this into my basket as well. I think that I also want to pull a single, because I had a couple days last week where I was feeling real lazy and whatever. So for that, I think I want to pull out, I haven't used Wild Oak yet from Vito. I think I just swatched it. So I'm going to pull out the shade Wild Oak and see if we can't get any use out of this, this old gal. I also don't usually pull a lippy, but I did want to pull the Becca Cosmetics lipstick in the shade Dune. I did a combination with this other week that I really loved, and I want to use it more. So I'm going to pull this shade, and hopefully we can really make a dent in it. I mean, it already has quite a bit of love. You can tell I use it. So yeah, I thought it'd be a fun, different shade to rotate in. Okay, so since I did have a really full basket, I went ahead and I took these items out that I don't use daily, and I'm going to put them back. I mean, I just have to reach over to my right side, so it's not like they're far away. But just because I have a really full basket this time around, I am going to take these out just so that I don't have to worry about all the clutter in here. But yeah, this is what my basket is going to be looking like for the next couple of weeks. I definitely think I will keep this as a 2-week rotation because I do have a few products in different categories. Like I've got 3 blushes, I've got 2 bronzers, I have a couple eyeshadow palettes. So I think this is one that will definitely last me the full 2 weeks. I've still really been enjoying doing this project. I don't really think there's necessarily anything on the chopping block in this basket unless I hate something new that I got, like this, this or this. But I don't really foresee that happening. But I am excited to get more use out of these. Typically pretty active over on IG, so if you want to check out any looks, they will be over there. And as usual, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Bye.